Hey guys, anybody watching yet? I'm gonna give it a minute or so to see if anybody jumps on before I start. Good news is my air conditioning is working again today, so I'm gonna be back here on a pretty much regular basis now again. Louisiana summers, you can't really live without air conditioning. So let me see. Today, it's a pretty big topic, and I'm gonna try not to jump around too much, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you guys so much for coming today. This is number 8 of the 10 videos I'm going to be trying. Things, but anxiety is such a broad and complex topic, and it covers so many different things that I may end up going either a little over or under. So if I do, just bear with me. Please, again, I get too distracted to be able to type and respond to questions as they're popping up during the video. So if you have any questions, please type them in the comments or message me, and I'll be very happy to get back to you at the end once I'm done with this. Now, as a recovering perfectionist, anxiety is something that I've spent pretty much most of my life trying to figure out how to manage. Of course, it was in school trying to be the best, the overachieving student, and it just progressed from there. And not only has it not stopped as a business owner and a mom, in many ways it's gotten worse. In fact, for anybody who knows me, y'all can prove or attest to how much even doing these videos triggers anxiety for me. I think it's taken me 2 years to even try to jump on a video alone like this, and even now it still causes some stress. So just trust me when I say that I know exactly kind of that paralyzing fear that goes with in your body and your brain when you're dealing with anxiety. So, as always, just like following the format for everything else that I do, we're going to start with getting present. Right now, aware of, and sort of go into what is anxiety. The root of that anxious feeling is fear. And what we do when we start to feel anxious is we start to spin in an attempt to control the outcome. In fact, that's what you're trying to do when you do feel anxious, is trying to be in control of, not trying, let me rephrase that, it's more than an attempt. It's this desperate feeling of needing to control the outcome of a situation or a circumstance. The situation can be just about anything. If you experience anxiety in social situations, what you're trying to do is, the root of it is you're trying to control how other people are going to react to you. If your anxiety is work related, it's probably the same thing. You're trying to control the action of the customer or your boss or even a teacher if you're still in school. You're trying to control, you want to control how they're going to react. And this feeling of fear is that you can't control it, right? So that's what creates the fear. My husband has a lot of anxiety related to his health. It's gotten much better recently, but when he has any kind of pain or illness or any kind of other form of discomfort, he immediately jumps to a worst case scenario. And of course, the stress from jumping to those kinds of thoughts produces that stressful feeling, which actually can make the symptoms more intense. And again, in his case, what he's trying to do is trying to control the outcome or whatever's causing the discomfort in his body. And the need to control the outcome of a situation, especially when you want to control others, that's all based in fear. This fear is, but the good news is that fear is all about the thoughts you're having. But those thoughts are, for most of us, it's going to be rooted in what you think about yourself. When you're not feeling good enough, or you're not likable, or you think you're not competent, when you're not feeling like you're just enough, then these feelings of fear pop up. What if I'm not good enough? And what if I don't meet your expectations? And what if, and what if, and what if? And our nature is to protect ourselves from this fear response. And then we jump into this loop. So if we start spinning about all the possible outcomes, trying to imagine all of the possible worst case scenarios, best case scenarios, it makes your brain feel like you're solving a problem. So rather than feeling the fear, you're distracting yourself by looking for solutions to a problem, of course, that there is no solution for. But the brain loves to solve problems and loves to protect us. And so when it's going through those scenarios and spinning in those circles, that's actually what you're trying to do. But of course, you know that you can't do that. Like, you can't control things. Rate, shallow breathing, it has a very direct physical response to it. But fear itself is, you need to recognize that fear itself isn't bad. In fact, without fear, we would have died out a long time ago, because this fear allows us to survive threatening situations. We're put on alert. We're aware of what we're doing. This fear is actually a survival mechanism, and it's a very important one. So fear isn't the problem. When fear becomes a problem is when it becomes our sole focus, or it becomes such an overwhelming feeling, and in often cases chronic, that it interferes with the quality of your life. And like, take this. If I were to ask you, what is your brain best at? What would you say? Would it be like remembering things, thinking things, learning things? But what our brain is actually best at is adapting. But when we're in the midst of this anxiety and it becomes stuck, we start repeating the same thoughts and feelings about a situation, and this repetitive pattern actually keeps us from adapting to our surroundings. So even though the fear exists to protect us, and our brains are trying to solve problems, again, to protect us, continuing to be in this situation, especially over a long period of time, can actually cause harm. You already possess everything you need. So once you recognize that this anxious feeling and that it's rooted in fear, then you can start moving a little bit forward. When the fear starts, the best thing you can do is to get out of your head and into your body. Your physical body can't overthink. It just feels things, right? So there's certain exercises you can do. I'm going to go through a couple that you can do pretty much anywhere. One of my favorite ones to get out of my head and into my body is to use my feet. I kind of take a deep breath and start by focusing on my toes with my outer toe, like the pinky toe, and concentrate on trying to spread them apart, but one toe at a time. This is something you can do anywhere. You can wear your shoes, because you're not actually wanting to see them spread. You're concentrating on that and feeling them stretch. I find that this works because you're physically and mentally kind of increasing the size of your base. So you're grounding your feet, you're making them wider, and it's a physical reminder that you're stable, you are safe, and that it's safe to be calm and stable. Because if you were truly in danger, you wouldn't be able to stand still, right? You would have to run or hide or duck or fight back or do something. And so this kind of reminder of grounding and broadening the base of your feet actually is a very good way to remind you that you are actually safe. Some people prefer to use breathing techniques, or even like tapping or finding something you can squeeze. Just do something to get out of your head, get into your body. And so you can ground yourself, because you need to do that. That's the first step. Anything before you can move forward. The next thing you can do is actually recognize and allow the fear to happen. All you're going to do if you try to stop it, or you fight against it, or try to distract yourself, is just make things worse. And you know this because that's how you get caught in these spins. And so fear is a normal thing to feel, and it's very healthy. But feelings are vibrations, and that's why you do feel them in your body. So you need to just allow it to happen. Search for where you feel it physically the strongest. For some people, it could be your stomach, your head, your chest, your throat. Just concentrate where it's showing up in your body physically and breathe through it. Allow it to happen. Don't fight your body. Don't fight the feelings, because you're gonna actually create a wall that you're not gonna be able to cross over. Now, once you've gone through and processed the feelings, then you can start getting into thinking more clearly. You can remind yourself that you cannot control what others think or feel, so just recognize that. Just an acknowledgement sometimes is enough. You also cannot control what will or won't happen at any point in the future. The only thing you can control is right now. So once you're grounded, then you can start having more clarity of thought, and then bring your whole central nervous system to a point where you can manage it and go forward. It's not possible to please everybody. Just kind of these simple reminders to accept and move forward, and just to be able to recognize that what you're going through is okay, but loosening that sense of control and recognizing that you can't control anything or every possibility. Now, I do understand that sometimes there's going to get a point where your nervous system is just so overloaded because everything feels frightening, right? And so in that case, there are many different herbs that I use that you can physically calm your nervous system. And then once you've calmed the nervous system on the physical side, then again, you can start at the beginning and go through the whole process of calming, managing your anxiety, which is something you can ultimately want to do on a long-term basis. One of the safest and simplest ones I like is chamomile in many different forms. It's very, very good at calming the body. I love it in a tea, and it's very safe, doesn't interact with any medicines as far as anybody knows so far. And it's gentle enough for even children to use. It's just a very gentle way to kind of slow down and calm your body physically. Now, when your brain is just running wild and you need that immediate fix, I have this tincture that one of my clients actually calls it herbal Xanax. It's not, but it's made with hops and passion flower. You take a little fast acting and very effective, but it doesn't stay in your system for very long, and so you don't end up with kind of that drowsy, disconnected feeling that you might on some more of the medications. It's just a way to calm down your mind for long enough so that you can start, again, moving forward and processing the situation however is best for you to do it. And also another group that I like to use in combination is lemon balm, skullcap, California poppy, and kava kava. When they're combined, they're an effective way to calm your entire body. I like that it goes into your brain, your physical muscles, and then also like your blood vessels and things like that. It kind of relaxes everything. It can be used daily. And the only thing I'll say is that it should not really be used on children. Their metabolisms work in such a way that you can't accurately predict how some of these nervines or the sedative qualities of these herbs are going to come through, especially with like the kava kava. So it's not something I would use for children, but if you need something stronger than just the chamomile, call me. We can personalize things to make it safe. Lavender as either an essential oil or a dried flower in teas or bath has also been very effective on all sorts of stress and even pain type situations. So that's another good option that we have. I do get quite a few questions about CBD. It's how it works and why it works can actually be a whole separate video. But just for the sake of today, I'm going to try to keep things simple and say it's not my favorite product to use for anxiety. I know some people that swear by it, and I cannot and will never deny their success with it. I just find that for a lot of my clients, it's almost like it's inconsistent. Chemical reaction altogether, what I'm talking about is the stuff that you can readily buy in Louisiana at any store, just straight CBD. It can be used. Some people love it. It's not my favorite product, but I'm not going to discourage anybody from using it. And like I said at the beginning, please feel free to type any questions below, message me, call me. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have about anything I've said today. Or if you have questions about your specific situation, I'd certainly be happy to talk with you guys about that too. Now next Thursday on June 17th at the same time at 11, I'm going to be doing the next one in my video series. That one I'm going to try to clear up some of the confusion, like if you're looking up one herb, why is one herb recommended for 30 different things? Or if you type, herbal headache relief and you get 60 different types of herbs. I'm going to try to kind of clear some of that up to help you guys if you're moving forward. And this, because a lot of that sometimes... it's not only a source of frustration if you're trying to educate yourself to move to more natural products, but it also causes a lot of skepticism. Like there's no way that one herb could do all these different things. So that's what I'm going to be talking about next week. So thank you guys for watching today, and I will see y'all next Thursday.